Molly is part of the production crew today. Right, Molly? Well, back home now, got a nice hot cup of coffee, Molly's warm, Spark's warm, took off all my insulation. So yeah, let's talk about how the Spark does in colder temperatures. So anyhow, I printed off a page out of the Spark user manual, and the highlighted part there pretty much tells you not to fly in cold temperatures. Like DJI does not want you to fly below 0 degrees Celsius, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. But I kind of disregarded this, and I decided to take my Spark out and try it in the colder temperatures. So I live in Calgary, Canada, and you know, we get winter, and it's a solid 3 months of winter, but there's a lot of time when we can get some really cold temperatures. And I didn't really want to park my Spark for all those months and days. And like I said earlier, you know, winter is a beautiful time of year. There's great stuff out there to go and capture, and I want to go capture it. So anyhow, I took my Spark out for 20 flights over about 3 weeks. So I flew my Spark in temperatures ranging from -8 degrees Celsius to -4 degrees Celsius, which is 18 degrees Fahrenheit to 25 degrees Fahrenheit. So after reading all that scary battery information in the manual, I really didn't know what to expect. Would the Spark allow me to take off at all in colder temperatures? Would the batteries just die mid-flight and the Spark just drop out of the sky? Or would I just have malfunctions all over the place? I didn't know. But as it turns out, it actually worked pretty darn well. So the very first time I took it out in cold temperatures, it was -8 degrees Celsius, which is 18 degrees Fahrenheit, you know, really cold day. And the very first flight actually worked just perfectly fine. It was the second flight that was the problem. And the reason it was a problem is after the first flight, I just kind of stuck it on top of the case, you know, left it on the launch pad, and I was setting up other shots and doing other things. And then when I came back to it the second time, obviously, you know, sitting out for 15 or 20 minutes, it got pretty cold. So I took it up for a flight, and it was just going to be just, you know, a simple follow. I was just walking down a pathway and just a simple follow behind me. And I'm looking down my controller, and I'm getting these gimbal error messages. And what's ironic is that the gimbal was overheating. So I can only assume, you know, a cable or something got really stiff and it kind of got jammed up in there. But yeah, the gimbal did not work well. So, you know, lesson learned, don't leave it out in the cold. So after that gimbal experience, I got a little smarter and I started keeping the Spark inside my big puffy down jacket to keep it warm, not only before starting the flight, but especially in between flights. You know, instead of leaving it out getting all chilly sitting on the launch pad, you know, I just keep it inside my nice warm coat. And that seemed to work just perfectly. You know, after that, no more problems. And you know, I was getting really good flight times too. Some of my longer stretches, I was getting like 11 and 13-minute flight times, and you know, and I'm bringing it back with battery to spare. You know, that's a pretty good flight time in cold temperatures. So yeah, I mean, I really didn't notice much of an impact on battery life at all. Still though, you know, I wasn't taking too many chances. You know, I wasn't flying up too high, and I wasn't flying too far away from me. You know, just to be a little bit more cautious in case something did go wrong. You know, DJI makes it pretty clear that you should not be flying this thing in the cold, so I didn't want to take any unnecessary risks. So yeah, I do think it is totally possible to fly your Spark drone in colder temperatures with a little extra care. You know, it's really all about keeping the Spark warm before and in between flights, keeping those batteries warm, keeping your remote warm. Do all that stuff, you're probably going to be okay. However, the manual says don't do it, so I'm not telling you to do it. You know, you have to use your own judgment on that one. Anyhow, guys, happy flying. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.